Hi, I'm sorry I haven't done this in a couple days. I don't know when was the last time I did do the big book study. It should be a priority and I haven't made it as such. I think it's funny for a person that has a mouth, at least that's where the money goes, It's hilarious actually. And normal too. It's actually normal and hilarious. we had left off at we're on chapter 3, more about alcoholism. We're already on chapter 3. It talked about physicians who are familiar with alcoholism agree there is no such thing as making a normal drinker out of an alcoholic, that science may one day accomplish this, but it hasn't done so yet. They talked about how we are like men who have lost their legs, they never grow new ones, and I said, well, I actually did grow legs in sobriety. And then, so then this next part, we had a routine at drug rehab in Orange County. They had a routine that they did when I said this, the paragraph following the next paragraph. I'll kind of try to tell you what they did if I can remember. But they tried to make it fun. I wasn't having a lot of fun, but they were trying to make it fun. So it goes on to say that despite all we can say, many who are real alcoholics are not going to believe many who are real alcoholics or drug users or abusers are not going to believe they are in that class. By every form of self-deception and experimentation, they will try to prove themselves exceptions to the rule, therefore non-alcoholic. If anyone who is showing inability to control his drinking can do the right about face and drink like a gentleman or a lady, our hats are off to him. Heaven knows we have tried hard enough and long enough to drink like other people. Here are some of the methods we have tried. Drinking beer only, limiting the number of drinks, never drinking alone, never drinking in the morning, drinking only at home, never having it in the house, never drinking during business hours, drinking only at parties, switching from scotch to brandy, drinking only natural wines, agreeing to resign if ever drunk on the job, taking a trip, not taking a trip, swearing off forever, with and without solemn oath, taking more physical exercise, reading inspirational books, going to health farms and sanitariums, accepting voluntary commitment to asylums. We could increase the list ad infinitum. Actually, that wasn't the paragraph where they used to do this stuff. We do not like to pronounce any individual as alcoholic, but you can quickly diagnose yourself. Step over to the nearest bar room and try some controlled drinking. Try to stop and stop abruptly. Try it more than once. It will not take long for you to decide if you're honest with yourself about it. It may be worth a bad case of the jitters if you get a full knowledge of your condition. I had the jitters. I couldn't control my hand. It would cramp up. My hands had like cramps that they'd get all gnarled up, and I would have to take drugs we'd mostly take drugs to loosen my hands up, and my mouth and jaw were always going, and my nose was dripping. Though there is no way of proving it, we believe that early in our drinking careers, most of us could have stopped drinking, but the difficulty is that few alcoholics have enough desire to stop while there is yet time. We have heard of a few instances where people who showed definite signs of alcoholism were able to stop for a long period because of an overpowering desire to do so. Here is one. Okay, I'll talk about relapse man number one. A man of 30 was doing a great deal of spree drinking. He was very nervous in the morning after these bouts and quieted himself with more liquor. He was ambitious to succeed in business, but saw that he would get nowhere if he drank it all. Once he started, he had no control whatever. He made up his mind that until he had been successful in business and had retired, he would not touch another drop. An exceptional man, he remained bone dry for 25 years and retired at the age of 55 after a successful and happy business career. Then he fell victim to a belief which practically every alcoholic has, that his long period of sobriety and self-discipline had qualified him to drink as other men. Out came his carpet slippers and a bottle. In 2 months he was in a hospital, puzzled and humiliated. He tried to regulate his drinking for a while, making several trips to the hospital meantime. Then, gathering all his forces, he attempted to stop altogether and found he could not. Every means of solving his problem which money could buy was at his disposal. Every attempt failed. Though a robust man at retirement, he went to pieces quickly and was dead within 4 years. This case contains a powerful lesson. Most of us have believed that if we remained sober for a long stretch, we could thereafter drink normally. But here is a man who at 55 years found he was just where he had left off at 30. We have seen the truth demonstrated again and again. Once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. Commencing to drink after a period of sobriety, we are in a short time as bad as ever. If we are planning to stop drinking, there must be no reservation of any kind, nor any lurking notion that someday will we be immune to alcohol. And see, I'll stop there. And I'll tell you that reading stories like this is why I haven't chosen to go back to drinking and drugging again, even though the compulsion has been there. And, you know, the stress has gotten so severe that most people would have. But it's for this reason, because I fear for the addictive process. I remember what it was like, that no amount of pain or suffering that I go through can compare to the obsession and compulsion that I had when I was engaged in the addictive process. So, yeah, I mean, it's just I would have been dead, you know. So I wound up into the emergency room a couple times because I was having a severe panic attack from cocaine withdrawal and all that. So, you know,